I think my mum would be like, you were probably better off dead. Yo, this is your boy Tez Ilyas here with a brand new video. Now, one of the things I hate about YouTube videos is really long intros where they talk about their previous videos and all the things that they've done in between the last video and this video. I'm not going to do that because I want to get straight to the point. Now listen to me. My generation, the generation that were born in the 80s, grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, we think that the cartoons we grew up on were the best cartoons of all time, and we will not hear otherwise. I want to challenge that slightly because I've been on this nostalgia trip recently and I've watched a lot of 80s cartoons, especially the theme tunes. Now, they had banging theme tunes. Yeah, Thundercats, innit? Untouchable. I won't say a bad thing about it, but there were some dodgy ones, bro. And this video is going to go through them and will make you think differently about your childhood. So me, Tez, I'm about to ruin your childhood. Sorry. This is one of the best cartoons of all time. I grew up watching it. Best theme tune, definitely. Come on, Gummy Bears.
With stories to share, all through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along.
Sing along if you know the words.
The air, Gummy Bears bouncing here.
I love the way these kids bounce, you know. Man, I love this cartoon so much. It gets a bit problematic in this next verse.
Magic and mystery are part of their history, along with the secret of gummy berry juice.
Sorry, what was that?
Along with the secret of gummy berry juice.
Hang on, along with the secret of gummy berry juice. These bears have invented liquid steroids, which they drink, which gives them superpowers, and it gives them super strength and the ability to bounce away from their enemies. This is a kids' cartoon that's advocating drugs. Do you know what year this was released? Roughly 1988. You know who got banned from the Olympics in 1988? Ben Johnson for cheating. Is that a coincidence? Probably. But still, it's probably what Lance Armstrong grew up on. And now suddenly they've got super strength, just twatting everyone, bouncing around. It's absolutely disgraceful. This is a kids' cartoon. The theme tune is lit though, so I do forgive it.
We are the Gummy Bears.
They are the Gummy Bears. Cheats though. Drug addicts. Drug abusers. More like junkie bears. Oh, this is one of my favourites. Super Ted. Sometimes I call myself Super Tez because I'm lame.
A story about an ordinary teddy bear. When
Yeah.
made, they found something wrong with him.
Oh, what?
And threw him away like a piece of rubbish.
Oh,
Into an old dark
hang on, this bear had a defect and they just threw it away. Didn't think about like getting it a counsellor, getting it some like physiotherapy, nothing, just threw it away like a piece of dirt. The 80s were a different time, you know. So far, this bear's defective and they've thrown it into a cellar with all the other broken toys. Alright, what happens next?
Then, from outer space, a spotty man brought him to life with his cosmic dust.
What the actual The narrator said a spotty man came from outer space and brought this teddy bear to life with his cosmic dust. I just want to watch that again. Where did the spotty man come from? How did he know where to go?
From outer space, a spotty man brought him to life with his cosmic dust.
Look at that face. That is not the face of someone that want playing with a toy teddy bear. Oh man. If I fell ill and my mum said, how come you didn't die? And I said, oh, some spotty man came and sprinkled me with cosmic dust. I think my mum would be like, you were probably better off dead. Let's see what happens next.
He took him to a magic cloud.
A magic cloud, of course he did.
Where Mother Nature...
She's in on it. She's probably his pimp.
Powers.
Well, hang on. That teddy bear just ripped off his skin and all that red underneath is probably blood. That is nuts.
That bear became Super Ted.
You can't enjoy that the same way. Speaking of perverts, who remembers the Mr. Men books? They actually turned them into cartoons. So this is one I was watching recently, Mr. Tickle. So he's a guy who is born with abnormally long arms, like some sort of X-Man. Well, Mr. Man, wasn't it? Let's see what he does with these abnormally long arms. Okay, so just walking around with these abnormally long arms. Seems quite innocent so far.
Eyes very wide open.
His laugh seems quite tough, actually. What? Sorry, what? He's looking for someone to tickle.
Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school. There was nobody about, so reaching...
There was no one about. That's what the narrator just said.
...extraordinarily long arms to a high window ledge, Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeked in through the open window. Inside, he could see a classroom. Mr. Tickle reached in through the window with that extraordinarily long arm of his, went up behind a little boy called Peter, and tickled him on the back of his neck.
He's tickling a kid without the kid's permission. I don't think the kid would give a stranger permission anyway. This is a kid's show, this. No wonder the 80s were full of perverts. Whose life is this modelled on?
Peter giggled out loud. Mr. Tickle waited a minute, then reached in through the window again.
No, I can't watch any more of that. He should be in prison. Operation U-Tree needs to get Mr. Tickle. I bet it all started with him. Oh, I love this show. Dungeons and Dragons. I never played the board game because I'm not a virgin, but the TV show was sick.
Wow, neat.
Give me a break.
Yeah, man, this was scary stuff. So these kids went into this ride and they ended up being sucked into an actual Dungeons and Dragons world. And this unicorn likes this kid. Oh my god, that dragon's got like 4 heads. Who's this egg guy?
Fear not, Ranger.
Alright, this egg guy gave me everyone powers.
Barbarian, magician, thief.
That woman just became a thief.
And acrobat.
Okay. This escaping from the dragon. Oh, who's this now? Who was that?
Avenger, the force of evil. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hang on. This egg dwarf guy's literally kidnapped these kids so he can play a game with them. You know what? I was reading about this show, right? So these kids are trapped in Dungeons and Dragons world, and I read that they cancelled the show before the kids could get out. So those kids are trapped in that world with Humpty Perverty in this Mad Max Jumanji forever. They've been there since 1983, the year I was born. This is a surreal one.
Down at the bottom of
Okay, down at the bottom of the garden. What the f is...
among the birds and the...
What is going on there? Right, the guy said down at the bottom of the garden, amongst the birds and the bees, there's just a party going on. There's some peas having a festival.
little people, they call the pot into bees.
Why are peas having a festival at the bottom of a garden? Is this where the Green Man Festival started? This is nuts. I mean, what in the hallucinogenics is this?
There's cricket black.
Why the...
There's cricket black and green dumpling.
Why are the baddie peas darker than the goodie peas? What subliminal messages was... What subliminal...
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
What subliminal messages was that sending to kids in the 80s? That dark peas are worse than light peas. There's fucking some racist bullshit, man. Look at it. Look at these guys.
There's cricket black and green dumpling.
Black-eyed peas matter.
Keep it a secret now.
It does look like a lit party though.
And all the party to peas. The party to peas.
Yeah, I'm not going to let my kids watch that. That is awful. Okay, technically this was in the 80s, but I did watch it in the 80s. Flintstones, sick cartoon. Now, of course, normally with cartoons you're meant to suspend disbelief on you. Like, you know, it's not a real world. Anything can happen. Alright, I need to tell you something that might shock you. Dinosaurs and people didn't live at the same time. Dinosaurs were wiped out 65 million years ago, and according to science, there weren't people on this earth until only about 40,000 years ago. That's almost a 65 million year difference. 65 million minus 40,000, that's a long gap between dinosaurs and people, yet in this cartoon they're showing them together living side by side. It's not factually correct, and I know for cartoons you're meant to suspend disbelief, and I would do that except for this line in this theme song.
They're a page right out of history.
They're a page right out of history. No, they're not. I've just gone over that, haven't I? That's a blatant lie. At best, right, it's highly misleading. At worst, it's negligent. I don't want kids thinking that people and dinosaurs coexisted. They don't. It's not Jurassic Park. This is one of the best theme tunes of all time. This is a really good cartoon, you know. I have one issue with it, and it's not a big one, unless you do actually have a lot of gold. That there, right, hang on. I don't care who you are, right? You cannot dive into a pool of gold like that is impossible, especially if you're a fragile old duck like this guy. So just a health warning to anyone watching this: if you do amass a whole room full of gold coins like this guy has, you can't dive into them, you will die, especially from that height. That would hurt if you're diving into water from that height. Never mind a pool of gold, stupid duck. There's a cartoon out there called Chippendale Rescue Rangers. How is that appropriate? The Chippendales were a male stripping troupe. They took their cocks off. That's what they did for a living. How are you naming a cartoon after them? Like, it'd be like nowadays calling a cartoon Riley and Mia. You couldn't have this. Okay, now we come to my favourite cartoon growing up. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I thought that this cartoon was Untouchable, the greatest kids cartoon of all time, until I recently rewatched it and I thought, what is going on? And I just want to talk you through it. He-Man. Sick intro.
I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull.
Right, first of all, Prince Adam's got drip in it. That pink waistcoat is... I would wear that.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend.
Oh, bless him. That cat is scared of everything. Like a little pussycat. Literally.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull."
First of all, I love the use of the word fabulous. Fabulous secret powers. That is a great start to a sentence, isn't it? But fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull." My question is, why do you use those words? There must have been a first time that he did that. So how do you know to use those words? Was he regularly lifting his sword above his head and just yawning, and then one day he happened to say, by the power of Grayskull, and then he started getting electrocuted by the sky? He didn't say that, anyone told him to say that. Those words apparently just came to him. So was he just using all manner of other words and nothing ever happened? Yeah, white power. Hang on, why is he electrocuting his cat? Thank for that. So the first time this has happened, he's accidentally stretched and yawned and gone by the power of Grayskull. He started getting electrocuted by the sky. He can feel himself rising in power. He's then chosen to electrocute his cat. The first time he did it, he can't have known that the cat's going to get powers. He can't know that. He's not a psychic. So why is he electrocuting his cat, the psychopath? I mean, fortunately, it's worked out for him. This cat has turned from a scaredy cat to an absolute badass tiger, innit?
And I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
With the best teeth in the universe as well, by the way.
Only 3 others share this secret.
Okay, 3 others know about you. Hang on, how can only 3 people know about him when you look exactly the same? I mean, look at Prince Adam, look at He-Man. There is no difference between these people. How thick are the people who populate this world that they can't figure out that this man is also this man? At least Clark Kent / Superman had the decency to wear glasses. I mean, everyone in Metropolis is a f***ing idiot, but at least he's got glasses on and a slightly different haircut. He-Man looks exactly the same as Prince Adam. How can no one figure that out?
The Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko.
But they're the 3 geniuses on this planet, clearly.
From the evil
okay, the bad guys. Did you see a Skeletor's laugh?
Of Skeletor.
I'm sorry, but that sounded exactly the same as Peter Griffin. Right, here's Skeletor's laugh. Here's Peter Griffin's laugh. That's exactly the same. So He-Man's arch nemesis is Peter Griffin. I mean, how much of a hero do they need to take on Peter Griffin? Even a chicken could do that. Guys, thank you for watching that video. I am sorry if I've ruined some childhoods. I'm sorry if I ruined Super Ted for you. Don't worry, just tune into Super Tez next week for a brand new video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, like it, share it, and if you want me to review any other 80s nostalgic things, TV shows, music or whatever, comment below, let me know what you want to see. In the meantime, I've been Tez Ilyas. Check out my stand-up special, Testify, if you haven't already. See you next time. Ciao.
So I'm trying to find a thumbnail for Super Ted like Tez is asking me. I've gone onto YouTube and typed in Super Ted to see if I can get a good image. And this is what comes up. What the fuck?